Blessed love, Heart to Love people. In 2020, the Heart to Love Foundation successfully launched its flagship Christmas project, which we branded a Christmas Garage Giveaway. Over 350 families were blessed with food hampers, clothing for men and women and children, as well as household knickknacks. This event will now be an annual event, as the global pandemic would have taught us that we cannot turn a blind eye or harden our hearts to our brothers and sisters in need. We have learned that together we can make a significant difference in the lives of families in need. So in 2021, we are trusting God to do even more. With your help, we aim to bless over 500 families who are really in need of some support this Christmas.
And welcome back to TTT's Now Morning Show. I am Kimberly D'Souza, and I have a special guest with me, actually the lady that you just saw on the screen, Miss Aveline Scott. She is the co-founder and director of the Heart of Love Foundation. Good morning, Miss Scott.
Good morning, Kimberly. Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thank you so much for being here. How are you?
Wonderful, thank you.
Now, that was a very interesting video. We saw that you were giving out hampers and that kind of thing. But before we get into the work of the organization, what exactly is the organization? The most I know is that you're a non-governmental organization, correct?
Correct. The Heart to Love Foundation is a registered, ARIMA-based non-profit organization. We have as our mission to rebuild communities through the act of love and kindness for humanity. So we were established in 2018, and since that time, as part of our response to COVID-19, we would have undertaken several initiatives. The first initiative, or the first big initiative, I should say, would have been a Feeding 1,000 Family initiative, where we would have distributed just over 1,000 hampers to those less vulnerable in our society. In doing that, though, we would have recognized that the need extended even greater than just providing a food hamper. We were actually taking the hampers out to those in need, and we were able to see that some clothing items would have been needed, some household knickknacks would have been needed, and that is what would have birthed the concept or the idea to do this Christmas Garage Giveaway. And what is that? In 2020, we would have transformed the Malabar Community Center car park into what can only be described as a flea market type environment. We distributed hampers, we distributed clothing items for men and women and children, and we also did some knickknacks. In 2021, we really aim to do a bit more and to trust God to do more than we did in 2020.
So is this the Christmas garage project that you have coming up right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's carded for December 12th, which is this coming Sunday. To attend the event, you would have had to pre-register. So we would have opened via our Facebook page a Google form that allows persons who are interested in attending to register. We opened registration on December 1st, and unfortunately we had to close by December 3rd. We had more than 675 persons registering to attend the event. And instead of panicking and saying, oh my God, how are we going to meet the needs of persons that would have clearly blown out our budget, our target, it really pained us to see that the need of the people is still so great. And we know that government has been doing quite a bit, and there are a number of organizations who are also doing their bit. But we have a group of regular people, ordinary citizens, pooling their personal resources to fund this initiative. Based on the demand that we have gotten this year, we are really encouraging regular individuals, corporate Trinidad and Tobago, to partner with us to help us to make this event a great success.
Now, what kind of sponsorship are you looking for? Are you looking for sponsorship in the monetary kind? Right. Are you looking for people to bring food stuff? How is it going to work?
Right. So last Saturday, we would have had our official drop-off day where we would have seen persons bringing in more clothing items, and we would have gotten some canned food items. Two of my favorite clothing store, the Closet Red and Finesse Creations, would have donated some clothing and items to us. And Lanston Roach would have done some product donations to us as well. But as you can imagine, the bulk of the expenses is in the hampers. And at this stage, we would not only appreciate product donations in terms of food items, but financial contributions, because what we found is that in buying in bulk, we are able to benefit from a lot more discounts. So our financial contribution will be greatly appreciated. And if there are persons who still want to go to the supermarket and pick up 1 or 2 canned items, non-perishable food items, reach out to us, 318-6969, and we will make arrangements to collect those items from you.
Now, you're saying that registration opened on the 1st, but by the 3rd, you had to close.
Yes.
So for those people who may need that extra assistance, are you looking for something maybe in 2022 earlier rather than something for Christmas?
Well, Kimberly, every month the foundation does a minimum of 50 hampers that we distribute. So we will continue with that initiative throughout the year. But this particular project is our main large project. So we kind of treat with this one a bit differently.
Right. Now, we're in the midst of a pandemic. How has that changed the way maybe you have distributed items or the way that you're now dealing with the public and giving out these hampers?
Right. I must say, though, that in 2020, when we hosted the first event, all COVID-19 protocols were observed. We had support from the members of national security, and we implement a time scheduling system so that all persons who were approved and registered to attend didn't all come at the same time. So you would have had to indicate whether you would like to come between 10 and 12 or between 12 and 1. So there's a staggering of the persons coming through that are managed by our volunteers. As you enter the compound, you're sanitized, your temperature is checked, you're placed under a tent seated 6 feet apart. So we're well organized in terms of adhering to the COVID-19 protocols.
Now, you did mention delivery earlier, but you're also saying that people can come down. So is it true that you're doing a delivery service and people can come in person?
Not for this event. For this event, you have to attend this event. Prior to the event and throughout the year, we do drop-off deliveries. For this event, persons are required to make their way to the Malabar Community Center car park. Their names will be checked on our registration list, and then you will be ushered through to collect your select your clothing items, your children items, collect your food hampers.
And from what time does it begin? And especially, what time do you encourage them to come out?
Right. Well, last year we had people lining up from 7 o'clock, as you can well imagine. The gates open at 10, and the event runs from 10 until 6 p.m.
Right. And because people had to pre-register, you don't really encourage anybody to come down without having registered first?
Well, unfortunately, if you're not registered, you're not going to be able to attend. So your name will be checked off against our registration list.
And our registration list is very important.
Very important.
It stays with you. Okay.
Yes.
Tell me some of the other projects the foundation might be working on. I know that you said that you do something similar to this every month, but any other projects the organization is looking forward to in the new year?
Right. So in 2021, we have already carded a continuation of our hamper drive, and normally, for the last 2 years, we've also done some support for back to school, which we will again do in 2022. Yeah.
And what are some of the items that the people are getting when they get the hampers? Because I know you mentioned food stuff, clothing. Anything else in particular?
Right. So our hampers cost just about $250. And that's what it cost last year, I should say. And we anticipate that we may not be able to get as much as we got last year for $250. So they would get all the basic items, and we also try to put in some Christmas goodies in there as well. So for this year, we are again looking to incorporate the basic food items that would allow a family to prepare a meal for this Christmas holidays. And we are very mindful, Kimberly, that 2020, or the last 2 years, has been very difficult, not only for individuals, but for corporate Trinidad as well. But we believe that persons can still find a way to look into their own personal resources and make a small contribution towards ensuring that a family gets a plate Christmas time.
That's really, really beautiful.
Yes,
I mean, Christmas is a time of giving,
yes,
and I really appreciate what your company is doing.
Definitely.
Final thing, anything else you would like to add before we close?
Well, I want to encourage persons to consider making that financial contributions towards the hampers. I'm going to ask you guys if they can put the bank details up for us. And feel free to call me at 318 6969 to either arrange to drop off items. And at this point, whilst we appreciate the clothing items, we really need foodstuff items. We really need financial contribution to assist with the purchases of 675 hampers.
Say that louder. 675 hampers. Ms. Scott, it was such a pleasure having you on the show with us, and I really hope that corporate Trinidad, that they really step up and that they help you, because it really is going, towards a good cause. So thank you again, Ms. Scott, for joining us.
Thank you very much, Kimberly.
And stay with us on TTT's Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break, and we will be right back. Stick around.